So picture this, a brand new monster horror game, Resident Evil Requiem, just launched. Everyone's excited, but the publisher, Capcom, comes out and says, sorry, no VR mode. Then, just days later, a modder drops a full VR mod with complete motion controls, and it's free. This is the wild story of how the VR community just refuses to take no for an answer. And there you have it, straight from the source. Capcom laid it out pretty clearly from the get-go. If you want to play our new game, you're playing it on a flat screen. That's the official word from on high, the corporate line. But as you can probably guess, that is not where this story ends. 7. So what's with the number 7? It's not some, I don't know, secret code you find in the game. Nope. This number represents the other side of the story. Yeah, that's right. It took the community just 1 week to build what the multi-million-dollar publisher said they had no plans for. A complete PC VR mod with motion controls and everything out in the wild for anyone to download. And that right there, that's the whole conflict in a nutshell, isn't it? The slow, cautious corporation versus the lightning-fast passion of the community. So, you gotta ask why the official no from Capcom. It's easy to just assume they don't care about VR, but the truth is a lot more calculated. Let's actually dig into their side of things for a minute. Okay, let's put on our corporate hats for a second. First, their main focus is the massive flat-screen market. That's where the real money is. Developing a proper, high-quality VR mode is super expensive, and for what? A pretty small slice of the player base. We're talking less than 5%. Plus, if they rush out a shoddy VR mode, their reputation takes a serious hit. But here's the kicker, the really savvy part. They know the modders are probably going to do it anyway. It's like this silent subsidy. They still get sales from VR fans like us, but they don't have to spend a single dime or take on any of the risk. Pretty smart, huh? And hey, this isn't some new strategy for them. They've done this before. Just look at Resident Evil Village. The game came out way back in 2021. The official VR mode, it didn't show up until late 2023. That's almost 2.5 years later. And it was a PSVR 2 exclusive. So what we're seeing with Requiem, it's pretty much the same playbook all over again. So with all that in mind, we can make a pretty solid prediction, right? An official VR mode for Requiem is probably coming, but don't hold your breath. We're likely looking at another 1.5 to 2 years down the road, and when it does arrive, you can bet it's going to be a PlayStation VR 2 exclusive, probably paid for by Sony to help sell more headsets. Okay, so that's the corporate side. But while Capcom is staying quiet, the community is enthusiastically shouting, yes. And we're not just talking about some simple tweak here. These folks are fundamentally re-engineering these games for a whole new reality. And I mean, just look at this community mod, the RE9 VR. It is seriously impressive. It's only for PC VR, sure, but it's totally free, supported by fans on Patreon, and it's got full 6 degrees of freedom motion controls. This isn't just some janky look-around mode, no. You are in the game, physically aiming your weapon, swinging and interacting with the world. And again, it came out almost instantly. So you might be wondering, how in the world is this even possible? Well, the magic ingredient is a tool called RE Framework created by the absolute legend, the modder Praydog. Think of a game engine like the foundation and blueprints for a house. Well, RE Framework is basically a master key to every single door in Capcom's house, the RE engine. It gives modders this incredibly deep access, letting them build crazy complex stuff like full-motion VR right into a game that was never ever designed for it. This isn't a hack, it's a genuine, mind-blowing piece of engineering. Now, this is a really important point to make. To use this mod, you absolutely need a powerful gaming PC and a VR headset that's connected to it. It will not work on a standalone device like a Quest 3. I gotta be super clear about that because that's a huge part of the VR audience and it's a critical piece of this whole story. So what this all boils down to are 2 totally different philosophies for VR. On one side, you've got the publishers with their slow, expensive, and often platform-exclusive approach. And on the other, you've got the community, fast, free, and open. It's a real clash of visions for where VR is headed. And I mean, this just lays it all out, doesn't it? The official route is a multi-year slog. It's high budget, super polished, but it's usually chained to an exclusivity deal with someone like Sony. Community VR, though? Boom. It's out in days. It's a passion project, it's free, and it's built for the PC where you have all that raw horsepower. It's a classic case of corporate planning versus grassroots speed. And that PC-centric world brings us to the elephant in the room for a lot of people, standalone headsets. Look, a game that's designed to run on a monster gaming PC, it just can't run on the mobile chip inside a Quest 3. Not without making some well, some pretty huge sacrifices. Let's take a perfect example, Alien Rogue Incursion. On PC VR or PSVR 2, it's terrifying. You get these deep, dynamic shadows, thick, creepy fog, and that perfect, inky black alien vibe. Now, the Quest 3 version? You get flat, static lighting, basically no shadows, this kind of bright blue-tinted haze everywhere and low-res textures. The hardware just can't keep up. And the difference this makes to the experience, it's night and day. Someone put it perfectly. It turns terrifying H.R. Giger nightmare fuel into a cheap Halloween costume. And that's so true. In horror, atmosphere is everything, and these kinds of downgrades can just completely kill the tension.
But listen, this doesn't mean you can't have amazing horror on standalone VR. You absolutely can. The key is that developers have to build the game for the Quest 3 from the ground up, leaning into a smart art style and creepy atmosphere instead of just trying to push for raw graphics. A fantastic example of this is Little Nightmares VR. That game proves you don't need photorealism to be absolutely terrifying.
So after all that, where does this leave you? You're the player, you just want to get scared in VR. Well, right now, it kind of feels like you're standing at a crossroads. You've basically got two choices. On one side, there's the patient path. You wait, maybe a year, maybe two, for that super polished official release that's probably going to be locked to a single headset. The other option? The modder's path. You can play it right now, today, but you're going to need that powerful PC, and you have to be comfortable with a little bit of technical setup. And that's really the bottom line here. Where publishers leave a vacuum, the community steps in with incredible speed and ingenuity. For so many PC VR players, these modders are the lifeblood of high-end VR horror. Which leaves us with this big, lingering question. How long can this go on? Will we eventually be rewarded by official ports? Or is the future of top-tier VR horror always going to rely on the passion of these brilliant modders? That's the real horror story playing out right now. So I want to leave you with this question. Which path are you on? Are you willing to wait 18, maybe 24 months for that official, polished version? Or has the modding community become your main way to play the biggest horror games in VR?